Today, we will tell you a true story from World War II, when a 6-year-old child enlisted in the army for his country. The story begins in a small village in Russia, where a family of 3 was sitting by the river, enjoying their free time. The youngest child among them, Sergey Oleshkov, was climbing a tree and showing his older brother and mother, saying, "Look, I've climbed so high." But just then, a German fighter plane approached them. Sergey's mother quickly told both brothers to hide in the bushes, but Sergey says that he is not afraid of any of this. He attacked the fighter jet with his slingshot, and in the very next moment, the fighter jet was destroyed by the slingshot strike. But when he looked around, he couldn't see his family anywhere. When Sergey woke up, he realized it had all been a dream. He got out of bed and started calling for his mother. Just then, someone knocked on the door. He thought it must be his mother, but instead, a very frightened woman from the neighborhood came inside. She told Sergey that both his mother and older brother had been killed. The innocent child just couldn't believe it and insisted that he would stay at home and wait for his mother. The woman told him that German soldiers had attacked them and that he needed to escape before they saw him. Just then, some soldiers started moving toward their house. The woman picked Sergey up and pushed him out through the window, but before she could escape herself, she was shot by their bullets. In a single moment, that innocent 6-year-old child lost his family, friends, and home. Everything was taken from him. As he ran far from his home, he looked back and saw his village burning. Crying, he called out for his mother, but how could she come? After running for a while, he found himself deep in the middle of the forest. He called out to his mother again, asking her to come and take him home. He was lost. That night, he stayed in the forest. The next morning, while drinking water from the river, he saw some enemy soldiers coming toward him. Sergey knew they were dangerous, so he ran and hid behind some trees. When a snake appeared there, he started trembling, but still, he didn't scream or run away. He stood there frozen because he was more afraid of those German soldiers than the snake. Soldiers who had destroyed his entire world in an instant. The soldiers sat by the riverbank for a while, ate their food, and then left. As soon as they left, Sergey ran to that spot and started searching for any leftover food. By the end of the day, that 6-year-old boy was completely exhausted. He hadn't had a proper meal even once in the past 2 days. He just kept walking endlessly with no destination in mind. He stumbled and fell, but even then, he didn't stop walking. On the way, he spotted some wild fruits. He was just about to eat them when suddenly there was a loud explosion behind him. The innocent child became even more frightened. Out of panic, he started imagining all sorts of strange things. He became convinced that someone was following him. Even in that state, he stood his ground and started saying to whoever was following him, "I have a gun. I'm not afraid of anyone." After a while, due to exhaustion and weakness, Sergey fainted. In that condition, 2 soldiers came to him. As the story continues, we see a Russian army base, where Commander Kuznetsov was waiting for his soldiers to return. The soldiers arrived there with the wounded little boy. When the soldiers explained to him that they were fighting for Russia, he started to open up to them and told them his name. When he reached out his tiny hand to shake the commander's hand, all the soldiers started laughing. But the commander also shook his hand warmly and introduced himself. The soldiers started to feel a sense of kinship with the boy. They gathered around him in a group and began giving him food and drinks. Even their usually strict commander started to look after him. When a nurse named Katya was dressing Sergey's wounds, he asked her to draw a tank on his bandages because he wanted to become a soldier when he grew up. The wounded soldiers lying in the infirmary also felt lighter after talking to him. Sergey really liked the commander's gun and his badge. The commander would also answer all his questions, big or small. Sometimes, during free time, he would unload his gun and let Sergey play with it. Sergey showed him the tank drawn on his stomach and started boasting, calling himself a soldier. He was now recovering quickly. The nurse told the commander that Sergey should stay with the platoon, but the commander refused, saying that it wasn't safe for him to stay here. He decides to send Sergey to an orphanage. The soldiers there liked to spend their free time with Sergey. Many people would come to visit him during the day. They would give him food brought from their homes, and he absolutely loved playing with the binoculars. One day, a soldier requests the commander to let Sergey stay with the platoon. Everyone liked him a lot. Spending a few moments with him gave them a brief respite from the chaos of war. However, the commander was adamant that Sergey had to be sent to the orphanage for his safety. The next day, the enemies attacked them. Many soldiers were injured in this encounter. Meanwhile, a vehicle was waiting to take Sergey to the orphanage. The commander gently explained everything to him and handed him a wooden gun as a keepsake. Sergey hugged him tightly and said that he would always worry about their well-being when he was far away. The commander was moved by his embrace and decided to let Sergey stay with the platoon. That night, the soldiers made a small-sized uniform for him. Sergey was very happy to see his uniform and started running around joyfully wearing it. He looked just like a real soldier. Everyone started affectionately calling him Soldier Boy. While he was running around, the Germans suddenly launched an air attack on his platoon. The soldiers quickly took Sergey to a safe place and went off to fight. The number of wounded soldiers was increasing day by day. In this difficult time, Sergey also wanted to help them. So he started giving water to the thirsty soldiers. One of them asked him to read out a letter from home because his eyes were bandaged. Sergey wanted to read the letter, but he didn't know how to read. Still, he took the letter and started making up things from his own mind. He said that the soldier's cow at home was perfectly fine. The soldier said that he didn't even have a cow, but everyone else laughed and said, "No problem, let him read." In this way, he would read everyone's letters to them in his own unique style. Everyone would burst out laughing when they heard him. We find out that Katya and the commander liked each other, but till now, neither of them had been able to say it. Later, Sergey tells the commander that he too has now become an important part of the platoon. Just then, a soldier station destroyed in an attack appeared before them. The commander taught him to take off his cap to show respect for the fallen soldiers. The next day, he told the commander that he wanted to be given a mission too. He was given the task of delivering letters to the soldiers. He started doing this job with complete honesty and dedication. But sometimes, instead of giving someone their letter, he would even ask them to dance. The next day, Sergey took his binoculars and went a little distance away from the base. While he was playing with him, he saw someone's foot moving in a pile of dry grass. He quickly ran to the platoon and told the soldiers about his discovery. Although they didn't really believe what the child said, they still went with him to check it out. In that pile of dry grass, they found 2 German spies hiding whom they arrested and took with them. Everyone praised Sergey's intelligence and presence of mind. That night, the commander showed Sergey the adoption papers. Now, Sergey had legally become his son. Sergey knew that his father liked Katya, so asserting his right, he took the commander to talk to Katya. But when they saw her talking to another man, they assumed she liked someone else, even though that wasn't the case. Once again, German soldiers attacked their base. This time, Sergey put all his strength into helping the soldiers and started delivering ammunition to them. But a soldier stationed there ordered him to go back because the area was still dangerous. When he returned, he saw that the commander and everyone else were very anxious because they had lost contact with the colonel. A soldier was sent to repair the broken wires. Sergey quietly follows him. He saw that the soldier had been seriously wounded by a gunshot. He asks the dying soldier how to fix the wires. Following the instructions, Sergey reconnected the wires, restoring the connection, and the commander asked the colonel to send help. Because of that 6-year-old child, everyone's lives were saved. The next day, the commander confessed his love to Katya and asked her to become Sergey's mother. Deep down, she was very happy, but she was quite shy. But before she could say anything, a soldier came over and handed the commander a letter, which contained orders for all of them to reach another location as soon as possible. All the soldiers set out with Sergey toward their new base. But on the way, some of their vehicles were destroyed by mines planted by the enemy along the road. The commander was also injured on the head, and a soldier who was very close to Sergey was martyred in the explosion. Sergey hugged the commander and cried a lot. They took all the wounded soldiers with them and continued on toward their new station. When they arrived, everyone met with the army general. The general was also deeply impressed by the bravery of that child. The next day, their battalion was honored with the Guards banner, and so was Sergey. When the general gave him the badge, Sergey said that he would protect his country with all his heart and soul. One night, their base came under a fierce attack. In one explosion, the commander was completely trapped under wooden beams. Crying, Sergey was making every possible effort to save his father. He called out to the other soldiers, who pulled the commander out and saved his life. The next day, Sergey went to see the injured commander. His small hands were also hurt in his attempt to save his father. That child had now become an inseparable part of the battalion. He had no family left except for them now. Wherever they went, he went with them. In the final scene, we see him marching forward with great enthusiasm alongside the other soldiers. It is said that Sergey went all the way to Poland with his fellow soldiers while fighting in the war. To this day, he is known as the world's youngest soldier. If you